Welcome to part 3 of the Innovator tutorial for setting up layout. So in this we're going to show you how to set up multiple pages and how to link articles so that the text flows from one page to another with a sort of continued on. And actually what we really care about is one frame to another. So first of all, multiple pages. Here's the first page we've set up in tutorials 1 and 2. To set up multiple pages, we're going to have to insert a page break. Now, if you've got the cursor in a typical text box and you go to insert a break, you're going to see that page break is grayed out, which is going to be really annoying. So to insert a page break, you need to click outside of the text box and manage to get that cursor blinking, not inside a text box like this, but outside like this. So once you successfully have gotten the cursor on the page itself and not inside any of the frames, we can insert a break, page break. Now we can choose the style of the next page. In the case of the Innovator, we have style set up for left and right hand pages with all of our different headings. So for literature, news, opinions, and so on. So let's make a news page, a left hand page. It's going to be a little different from the front page. It doesn't have the same big banner. It says news. Alright, so on our new page we now can insert new frame for our content that's going to flow. So for this example, let me create two new pages. We'll call them page 2 and page 3. And I'm going to have this Man Eats Worm article continue on page 2 and the big news article continue on page 3. So on page 2 I'm going to insert a frame, and I'm going to use my frame styles just like we did in the past to make this, let's make it a full 5 out of 5 columns, and in this case we can make it shorter, so let's make it just along the bottom of this page. We'll have that news continued like that. And on page 3 we'll insert a frame, and this one will make rundown just one side of the page, so we'll make it 1 out of 5 columns and just have it run right down the left hand side like that. I'm going to set up the frame borders so that they separate it from whatever else goes on the rest of that page when I get to the layout. So here I'm going to put a border along the top because it's at the bottom. The other one I put the border on the left hand side. Alright, now how to link the frames. In order to link frames, I need to first select the frame I want to link from. So it's a little tricky. I've got to click right on the outside of that box and you'll see the little green dots showing you that I've successfully selected this frame. When I've done that, in the frame toolbar, which if you don't have, you have to go up to toolbars and make sure that frame is selected. Mine is. You're going to choose the chain which links frames. So it's a little chain link is the metaphor. So link, and that's going to link this frame. I can't click on it because I've already chosen it. So it's going to link this Man Eats Worm, and I'm going to continue that on the second page. And you see how that target sort of gets dotted lines around it, so I'm going to continue it there. And OpenOffice helpfully draws these dotted lines, and it shows my article flows right there. So notice it starts here, and it flows onto this page. I'm going to do the same thing with the other frames. I'm going to click here. I'm going to say link frames to, and right there, now I have linked frames. So that very quickly is how you link frames. If you have linked frames, notice if I delete text here, it's going to come out of the linked frame there. And similarly, if I paste more text in here, let's say I paste text here, you'll notice it runs right off the edge, and that's going to go right to where I linked it. It's going to flow right into here. It's theoretically possible to have an article link across more than one page, so I could then link this yet again and have it flow to a third spot. For our purposes, that's almost never going to happen, but it could. So that's how we link frames. Now, as far as how you make it say continued on and continued from, we're going to embed a new frame. I've already created this here. A new frame, which will come to the bottom, and I'm just going to write continued on page blah blah blah. We don't want that in the regular text because the regular text can flow right off of the page, and we don't want to have to keep editing where it is. So we need to insert a new frame with the continued on, and then when we get down here, we're going to need to create just the way that we created a headline before. I'm going to need to create insert a frame Where'd that go? Let's try that again. So I'd insert a frame and get it inside the text, insert the frame. Oopsie daisies. Keeps going to the wrong place. So that can be really frustrating. Okay, so let's go inside of here again, insert a frame, and make it in the headline style. Interesting. So that put it in the wrong spot by default. I cut it. If I paste it down here, nope, doesn't work. Interesting. So let's see if I paste it on the page itself, and now I can drag it down here. And tell it to anchor it to the frame. There we go. Finally, it's working. And here I could write a headline, and I would say, "Man eats worm," and I would say, "Continued from page 1." And I can make that in the headline style. All right, well, before I go on too long and mess this up, I'm going to be quiet now. So that's the quick version of how you link frames. And now we have a 3-page paper with an article linking from page 1 to 3 and an article linking from page 1 to 2. Thanks for watching. All done.